Welcome to the audiobook, My Triplet Alpha Stepbrother Mates, written by 𝘠𝑒𝑥_Salvatore, narrated by Lizzie Davis. Chapter 1, The Triplets. Gisèle's POV. "Goodbye, Dad," I whispered, knowing he could hear me. I looked at my dad for the last time before I sighed and entered the Arizona International Airport. I was moving in with my mom, Vera Smith, in Texas, after she won my custody case. Yeah, I was their drunken mistake, which was born on this planet nearly 17 years ago. Both of my parents were ordinary werewolves. My father, Finn Swan, is the Omega of the Silver Moon Pack, an ordinary pack of Arizona, nothing special to brag about. My mom and dad were childhood sweethearts. They didn't care about the fact that they were not each other's mates and were happy together. Until my mom's hot alpha mate, Riley Smith, alpha of the Dark Sapphire Pack, appeared in her life nearly 16 years ago, just 1.5 years after I was born. My mom was so in love with her mate that my dad had no choice but to let her go. Soon after she moved in with her mate in Texas, my dad also found his mate, Melanie. Melanie and Dad got married quickly because he wanted someone to take care of me with him. Melanie and I had the love-hate relationship from the start. We never behaved like normal mother and daughter, but for the records, she was also not really the bitchy stepmother. We had a mutual understanding about keeping a safe distance and avoided each other's business. What else can you expect from a good stepmother than a personal space? Over the years, my real mom tried taking my custody and held a lot of pack meetings, but every time the elders took my dad's side. Hence, she was left with no choice but to take the matter to court. The Dark Sapphire Pack is filthy rich, and Alpha Riley made sure to use his influence during the trials. After the trials, the human judge was convinced that my now billionaire mother can give me a better life than my father, and hence, she won my custody. It's not like I don't love my mom. I used to meet her when she visited our pack house to spend time with me when I was little. It's just, she left me and chased the man when I was barely 2 years old, and now she wants to take me in? I am just sad to leave my father alone. He always loved me more than his life. My mother told him that he can come and meet me at any time, and Dark Sapphire's doors were always open for him. I was supposed to move in Dark Sapphire like 3 months ago, but I somehow managed to drag it out this much. But right now, she just can't accept any of my excuses and wants me there before my birthday. I am turning 18 in 1 month. I wanted to spend my 18th birthday with my father and my friends at my own pack, but I know that my Luna mother will move to court and hurt my father if I don't comply. After I turn 18, I can recognize my mate. At first, I was so excited about it, but since I am moving, I don't really feel the excitement anymore. What if my mate is still in Arizona when I am moving to Texas? This is my first time visiting my mom's new home. All I know about the whole situation is my mom is the Luna of that pack. Alpha Riley was always welcoming and warm towards me. The Dark Sapphire Pack is stinking rich. And they have triplets and Caleb. Well, Alpha Riley was also not really clean before marriage. He had this girlfriend in college who gave birth to the triplets, Kevin, Riven, and Stefan Smith. But due to weakness, his girlfriend died after giving birth to them. Alpha Riley was in depression for 4 years, until he met his mate, my mother. He directly married her and made her his Luna. He was really worried about having kids with my mother after his girlfriend's death during labor, but then my mother was dying to have kids with him, so he ended up allowing it. Now, they have another kid named Caleb, who is 2 years younger than me and 6 years younger than the triplets. Unfortunately, I have met the triplets before, when my mother brought them during my 13th birthday. They spoiled my birthday and tried to bully me like 3 teenage bitches. But it was like 4 years ago, but I still have no faith in them. Caleb, on the other hand, was cute and shy at that time. But now, I have no trust in him either. He has been living with devils his whole life, and influence is a big thing. That is all I know about my mother's pack. Quite knowledgeable for someone who is going to live with them for God knows how long. I taunted myself for being so dumb and not gathering more information. I thought I could easily pass some more time until my mother blackmailed my father. I don't know when I fell asleep during the flight while thinking about my new family. A small nudge woke me up from my dreamland and dragged me back to reality. I was dreaming about meeting my mate after I change. I was roaming around in the valleys and river near my pack house, playing with him, loving him. I looked at the handsome flight attendant, who smiled at me sweetly and said, "We have landed, miss." "Thank you so much for waking me up," I replied with a gentle smile. I gathered my stuff and got off the plane. I was done with all the formalities, picked up my luggage, and arrived at the receiving point. I looked around, and my eyes fell on a board on which "Welcome home, stepsister" was written in bold. I looked down and I saw one of the triplets holding the board with a smirk, and the other was resting their hot backs on the railing. I took a deep sigh and moved towards them with a forced smile. "Welcome," said one of them with a cute smile, but his deep, husky voice could make any girl wet. "Thank you," I replied gently. "Oh, introduction. I am Stefan, the youngest. This is the oldest, Kevin, and this brute is Riven." He pointed towards his brothers with a wicked smile. There was not much difference between them. Stefan and Kevin have short hair, while Riven had long hair. All of them were towering above me with their 1.9-meter height. Their facial features were exquisite. They had blue eyes and blonde hair. Their chiseled jaw can cut a melon in half. They have the body of a Greek god. Everything about them was just perfect. "Nice to meet you," I replied politely. "Same to you." Kevin had the same deep voice as Stefan, but it was lacking the smile. "Believe me, the pleasure is all ours," Stefan added with a wink. Cute. Riven, however, didn't show any interest in the conversation. Stefan guided me towards the car. Kevin was driving, Riven was sitting next to him, and I was sitting on the back seat with Stefan. The drive from the airport to Pack House was silent. We reached the Pack House in nearly 30 minutes. I looked outside the window and saw a freaking mansion in front of us. A small wow left my mouth, and I know it didn't go unnoticed by the triplets. As we were moving towards the parking lot, I noticed their pack house wasn't a house. It was a fucking town, guarded by the huge stone walls at every corner. The Alpha's house was at the end of the whole town, having a different entrance itself. On the hill, there was a huge castle-like building, which was none other than Dark Sapphire Extra Mundane, the university for supernaturals where I am going to be studying soon. My eyes were stuck in the castle-like university, and now I get why it is called Stone Fortress. Kevin pulled the car at the parking lot, and we entered their house. I saw my mother excitedly waiting for me at the living with Alpha Riley, whose hand was on my mother's shoulder. "Giselle, my little girl, I can't believe you are finally here," my mother said excitedly. "Same here," I replied with a sarcastic smile. She didn't seem to catch the sarcasm in my tone, hence she literally choked me in a bear hug. Alpha Riley also hugged me, which was awkward, and then lastly, I got a gentle hug from Caleb. "I was waiting for your arrival for so long," he said politely. If we talk about looks, Caleb looks more like me than the triplets. He has dark hair and hazel eyes just like me. His chiseled face with V-shaped jawline, small nose, and doe eyes also resembles me. "Nice to meet you." I couldn't be rude to one of the cutest persons on the planet. It looks like he didn't really get that much influenced by arrogant triplets. I was dragged out of my thoughts by Alpha Riley's strong, intimidating voice, giving me every sign of where the triplets got their sexy voice from. "Giselle, thank you for coming. Your mom is so happy. Please make yourself feel at home. We have made all the arrangements for your comfortable stay. I'm not going to say that you are like a daughter to me. In fact, you are my daughter, and you have all the rights as my other kids have." Alpha Riley spoke kindly. I was about to say thank you and end the awkward conversation when he spoke again. "And since you are our daughter, you have equal respect as Kevin, Riven, Stefan, and Caleb. In fact, if they are at the position of Alpha, you are at the position of Luna. You can have a competition with them. We have no problem." He chuckled. My mother and Caleb chuckled. But the triplets didn't really like the idea. At least that's what their furious faces were telling me. No, thank you. I will pass. It's too much responsibility for sweet little me. As I was just having a nice chat with Alpha Riley, the triplets appeared in front of us. We will give her the house tour, the triplets said in unison. I smell trouble. Why do they suddenly want to give me... Chapter 2. Like what you see, baby? Giselle's POV. I smell trouble. Why do they suddenly want to give me a tour? Yes, boys, I love your enthusiasm. That is what I was talking about the other day. You have learnt your lesson. Alpha Riley looked at Vera, and she nodded with a bright smile. Yeah, Dad. Stefan was the one who replied, but Kevin didn't look really happy. Riven, on the other hand, was glaring at me coldly. Are they blind? Riven is literally digging daggers at my flesh. They smiled at Alpha Riley and Vera before Stefan and Kevin held my waist and dragged me out of their sight. We entered the kitchen, and all the servants moved out almost immediately when Riven looked at them coldly like he was giving them a sign to run before I will cut your balls. They pushed me at the counter and cornered me with their giant bodies. I can't find an escape. Before I could scream, Riven covered my mouth with his giant palm. What the hell? I said angrily, pushing his hand away. Don't you dare think that you own anything here. Kevin's deep voice passed a shiver down my spine. We are just letting you stay here because Vera took care of us when we were little, but you are not part of our family. Don't take our father's words seriously, Stefan added with an arrogant smirk. Yeah, you don't belong to Dark Sapphire. You belong to that poor pack. You are nothing but an omega of that small pack. Don't you dare think you can compete with us and become Luna here. You can never climb up to our rank. Riven's tone was harsher compared to the others. Know your limits, Giselle, before we make you understand our way. Kevin's deep voice held warning. Fuck you all, I growled at them. How dare they speak to me in such a tone? Don't test my patience, Giselle. Riven smirked at me. We would love to comply, baby girl, but I don't think our parents would love it if any of us were inside you, Stefan said with a teasing smirk. My eyes widened. I wasn't really expecting that reply. The thought of them inside me made me aroused. Stefan's grin widened after observing my expression, and he held my waist with his one hand and pushed me towards his chest. Don't say things you don't want to do, or else you will regret it in the end. He had a dangerous, devilish smirk on his face. His hand caressed my back. I tore my eyes from him to look at Kevin and Riven, who had the copy-paste expression on their faces. Wow, not even 15 minutes I spent in this pack house, and I am already aroused by my wicked stepbrothers. To my surprise, Kevin removed his brother's hand from my waist and moved him away from him. Riven, as usual, just glared at me like he had a problem with my existence. Don't take us lightly, Giselle, and make sure you don't come in our way. Saying it in a dangerous tone, Riven took his brothers away. I just noticed that I was holding my breath this entire time since Stefan held me. Fuck it. Why was my mouth sealed? Why didn't I reply to him harshly? Ugh, I groaned loudly. What happened, sister? Asked Caleb confusedly, who had just entered the kitchen. Nothing, dear. I will go to my room. I started moving when Caleb held my arm. Sorry if the triplets have irritated you. They are acting really weird these days. Maybe because they are the only people who haven't found their mates from their entire group, Caleb said in a polite tone. He is so easy to talk to. They have not? I asked with interest. Nah. Let me tell you something, but don't tell this to anyone, okay? Caleb looked at me with hopeful eyes. Don't worry, each word is safe with me. I nodded, excited to hear the latest gossip. They are really frustrated. They change girlfriends every week, but still they are not satisfied with any of them. I heard Stefan talking about it to Tyler the other day. Caleb grinned. He was the youngest, and he had the most cute, boyish grin. Serves them right for being so annoying, I replied, chuckling, and gave him a high five. Riven, on the other hand, has an on and off girlfriend. They sleep with each other and break up. Honestly, she is really weird. I get this negative vibe from her, but the other two told me to shut my mouth. You know, they were okay at first, but since Riven changed and found out she is not his mate, he is not satisfied with her either, Caleb whispered. Just when I saw myself enjoying the company of my youngest stepbrother, I heard Kevin's voice from the living room. "Did I hear you saying something about us, Caleb?" His voice was stern. "Nope, bro. We were just chatting," Caleb replied with wide eyes. Of course, he heard it. He is not just a werewolf, but a freaking alpha. How can he not? We should have been more careful. "Okay, you know what happens when you piss us off," Riven's voice held warning. "Yeah, bro." Caleb swallowed hard before replying. "Come, I will take you to your room. People eavesdrop here," Caleb said with an eye roll. Caleb accompanied me to my room. When he opened the door, my eyes and mouth were wide open. It was literally 5 times bigger than my room in my old pack house. There was a large king-sized bed with antique wooden furniture. Also, there was a small living area with a sofa set at the entrance and a private bathroom at the corner. "This is your room. Hope you like it," Caleb said, smiling. Like it? I love it. I was blown away by the number of antiques in the room. I went inside the room to take a good look when I realized something and turned towards Caleb. "No closet?" "Oh, there is a walk-in closet at the end. That door." He pointed towards the door. I opened it and saw a giant room filled with clothes of all styles. "Well, I went shopping with Mom. We didn't really know what your personal taste is like, so we brought almost everything." He laughed and scratched the back of his head. "Well, my personal taste is a 3XL t-shirt with dolphin shorts, but am I going to tell him that? Absolutely not." "Okay, I will take my leave. You must be tired after traveling almost the whole day," he said, smiling. For someone who slept for the entire day before coming here, sure, I was tired. "Yeah, thank you, Caleb." I smiled at him. "Most welcome, sis." Caleb flashed his cute smile and left the room. I took a shower and changed into a gray set. I was about to go down for dinner, but then my mom brought the dinner to my room. "Caleb told me you were tired, so I brought your dinner here." Mom kept the dinner on the table and sat there waiting for me. I sat next to her and ate my dinner quietly. She was just watching me, like I am the most adorable thing in the world, but I was getting uncomfortable. "Thank God you are finally here." Mom stroked my hair gently. I only smiled at her. I didn't know how to answer her. I met her after 3 years straight. It was really awkward. "I get it. You must be nervous. But as your father said—" I cut her off immediately. "Stepfather. My father lives in Arizona," I corrected her. Yes. As your stepfather said, you are now part of this family." Vera's smile wavered for a moment, but she plastered it again. When I was done with my dinner, she let the servant clean my room and left after kissing my forehead. They were right about being tired, because even after sleeping for so many hours yesterday, I instantly dozed off as soon as my back touched the soft bed. I woke up in the middle of the night when I heard a loud knock at my door. I rubbed my eyes, turned on the night lamp, and moved towards the door. I unlocked the door to see the triplets standing in front of me, shirtless. My eyes widened. I am completely awake now. My hazel green eyes met with the 3 pairs of baby blue eyes. I swallowed hard when my eyes fell on their chiseled chests to their washboard 6-pack abs. "Like what you see, 3. Mate. Warning, mature content ahead." "Like what you see, baby?" Even though the light was dim and the 3 of them had almost the exact same deep voice, I was sure it was Stefan. He is the one who gives nicknames. "What are you doing here?" I asked like a scared little rabbit about to be swallowed by 3 giant tigers. "We couldn't sleep." came Kevin's deep, demanding voice from the side. Those three were standing tall in front of me, half naked in the middle of the night. What do they actually want from me? Like I can't feel that in my lower belly. "We want you," Riven said in a deep, husky voice, almost hoarse. Wait, can they hear my thoughts? Their naked, muscular upper bodies, along with their deep voices, were making me wet. I trembled and took a few steps back, just for them to take a step towards me and remove the distance between us. My virgin ass wanted to kiss the shit out of them. I don't know what is wrong with me. I was never the girl chasing abs or good-looking guys, but here I am, lusting over three equally gorgeous men, who are none other than my own stepbrothers. Not blood-related, but still. I must have lost my mind to think like that. Just when I was busy in my train of thoughts, Stefan removed the remaining distance between us. "We want to kiss you," Stefan said. I could feel his hot breath on my face. "No, we want to fuck you. We want to fuck you so bad that you won't be able to walk properly for an entire week," Kevin added, his warm breath on my neck. I don't know when he stood back to me. "We want you completely. You belong to us," Riven announced in an intimidating tone, his hand exploring the forbidden parts of my body. I felt 3 pairs of hands holding my waist. My core was throbbing because of their mere touch. I couldn't reply. My body started betraying me. It was giving in to the sensation the triplets were making me feel. I was wet. I was so aroused, and I knew they could smell the scent of my arousal. Before I could say a word, 3 pairs of lips attacked me. Stefan removed the distance between our lips, kissing me hungrily, while Kevin kissed my neck from the left side and Riven on the right side, making me moan in Stefan's mouth. Their hands were caressing my body, touching every part freely like they own it, like they own me. Stefan's one hand was on my cheek, and his other hand went to my butt, squeezing it hard. I gasped in response, and he took the opportunity to deepen the kiss. He shoved his large tongue inside my mouth and started exploring every corner of it. I couldn't even match his pace. He was so dominant. I couldn't wait to find out what the real dominant brother, Kevin's kiss, would be. Riven was dominant, but he was more like an arrogant ass, while Kevin held the real dominance without being a complete jerk. Meanwhile, Kevin's giant arms held my boobs and started squeezing them lightly. His expert hands were massaging my boobs and drowning me in the pool of pleasure. I was melting in their arms. When I thought they can't pleasure me more, I felt Riven's hand go down from my waist and start reaching under my shorts. Surprise! Guess what? I wasn't wearing any underwear inside my shorts. I mean, who wears it during the night anyway? "You are so wet for us," he said seductively in my ears while rubbing my womanhood with his giant finger. Just when he was about to enter his giant finger inside me, I heard the music of my alarm clock. I sat immediately on my bed. My heart was hammering against my chest. My whole body was sweaty. I was soaking wet. I was having a wet dream about my stepbrothers? 1 month later. The month passed faster than I expected, with my mother trying to help me to get to know some of the important people in the town. Alpha Riley was always sweet with me. However, triplets didn't miss a chance to remind me that I don't belong here, especially Riven, who called me and my pack by different names. Kevin was just intimidating, making sure I knew he was an alpha jerk. Stefan, on the other hand, wasn't really bothering me verbally, but the Playboy Alpha was flashing his arrogant smirk every time our eyes met. I don't know if he heard me moan his or his brother's names at nights when I had wet dreams about them. Oh yes, it's nights, the plural. Today, Alpha and Luna are throwing a grand party for my birthday, which I surely didn't ask for, but my mother didn't care. There are a lot of people from different packs coming. Caleb warned me to stay away from Riven's psycho girlfriend at the party, but fortunately, she is not well and not coming. However, she sent me a present and a handwritten birthday card, which I think was really sweet, yet suspicious for someone who doesn't even know me. I changed into the black-colored mermaid sequin dress my mom bought for me. I must give her the credit because it literally fits like a glove. The black color was going so well with my milky pale skin tone and enhancing my non-existent curves. I have a slim, slightly hourglass figure, so dresses like that enhance my curves. It is not my regular style. I don't wear snug-fit clothes, but I love it. The dress was off the shoulders with a sweetheart neckline. It goes all the way down to the floor with a train in the back. The dress itself was breathtaking. I did a light makeup, styled my chestnut brown hair in soft waves, and wore small diamond-studded earrings to complete my look. I heard the continuous knock on my door. "Coming!" I opened the door to see Caleb standing in front of me, wearing black jeans with a white t-shirt and a leather jacket. Even though he is just a teenager, but he looked so manly in that outfit. "Wow, you look stunning," Caleb complimented with a bright smile. "Gorgeous." I heard a deep, husky voice from behind and saw Stefan and Riven standing in the corridor with wide eyes. I know Stefan is the one who complimented me. Riven just checked me out from top to bottom and then left without a word. Whoa, the sweetness you need just 15 minutes prior to your birthday. I felt a different kind of sensation when Stefan hugged me, but I decided to ignore it and went down with Caleb. When I went down, I felt Kevin's hot gaze on my burning skin, along with 2 more sets of eyes on me. I felt like I was having yet another wet dream. I saw my father in the crowd downstairs and jumped into his arms. "I thought you wouldn't be able to make it," I stated. "How can I not when it's my princess's 18th birthday? Happy birthday, baby," he replied, smiling. Well, yeah, I won't lie. I do feel like Cinderella these days, but my mother is the one who married the prince. The 15 minutes passed at the speed of light, and when my mother was introducing me to some of the important people of other packs, mainly Alpha and Beta's families, I met some kids of my age who are going to be there with me when I attend Dark Sapphire University in a month. At a sharp 12 a.m., everyone wished me happy birthday. I cut the cake. There were cheers and fireworks everywhere. I never had such a huge birthday party in my life. An hour later, my head started spinning, and I didn't even drink. I felt an immense pain in my core. I know it's happening. I sneaked out of everyone's sights and left the house. I went behind the tree and slipped out of my dress smoothly. It's a shame if I tore such a beautiful dress at my first change. I ran towards the forest. My whole body was paining like hell. Just when I was about to take another step, I felt my ankle breaking. I fell on the ground. I was on all fours position when one by one, all my bones broke and rejoined like a freaking horror movie. I saw white hair growing on my arms with lightning speed. Where does this speed of hair growth go when it is about my scalp? I somehow dealt with the deadly pain while screaming and groaning. Lastly, I couldn't hear my human voice anymore. I heard a painful howl. I changed into my wolf completely. Judging by the hair on both my arms, I was a white-colored wolf. I began to move, but my legs turned jelly. For a long time, I tried and tried repeatedly, but failed. After a lot of struggle, I managed to change back to my human form. The pain in my body was insane. I got dressed and was heading back, trembling. I saw cars leaving. I don't know for how long I had been out, but it felt like eternity to me. I moved towards the pack house and saw Riven seeing off the guest like a gentleman. He smelled like cherry blossom. I never knew he smelled so heavenly. I think he noticed my gaze at him when suddenly he turned towards me and, to my surprise, asked in a concerned voice, "Are you okay?" Unable to answer, I just nodded and tried to run away from him. His scent was driving me crazy. I was aroused already. One of the guests moved back, and I felt the slightest push on my shoulder, but because of my weak state, I lost my balance. Riven was fast enough to catch me. I felt the obvious sparks in my whole body, and I know Riven felt it too, as his eyes were as wide as the full moon when he looked at me. Mate left our mouths. My whole body was burning. I began to turn red. I held his collar and stood immediately before running inside. I heard him calling my name from behind, but I didn't look back. As I was running, I saw Stefan. His rosy scent hit my nostrils like a truck. I was running past him when he grabbed my hand, and I felt the tingling sensation for the second time. I was removing my hand from his and was about to say mate when I moved back and my back touched a hard chest. The tingling sensation enhanced in my body. I was hit by a rich vanilla scent. I looked back and saw Kevin standing behind me. Mate. The word left all of our mouths in unison.